Overwatch fans from around the world have gathered tonight to watch the winners match here for Apex Challengers. We are in our promotions. Winners of tonight's two best of fives will advance directly to Apex, and we are starting off with Runaway versus Afreeca Freecs Red. I am Wolf. With me is Achilles, and it's time to find out which two teams are going straight into Apex.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a pretty tough matchup on both sides. I think we're going to see it go fairly evenly. Saw some predictions in the chat earlier on. A lot of people favoring Runaway more so than Afreeca Red, but they had a very strong showing up against MVP Space. Granted, that is something that we expected, but they still looked very cohesive, and they knocked them out pretty swiftly. So I think that we're going to have a very close match because we have two extremely great DPS players, Atune versus Hoxall. That is going to be my highlighted matchup for this game right here. I don't know who's going to come out on top, and I'm really excited to see it.
Exactly. It's going to be the job of the tanks in this meta, of course, to protect Hoxall and Atune and allow them to have that sort of engage. We didn't see as much May play from Afreeca Freecs Red yesterday as we did see from Runaway just 2 days prior. So Hoxall playing a more conservative May, really playing defensively, using her at rage, not really trying to lock people off with the ice wall, but actually just trying to zone and buy time and make sure that when he's doing this, he can save his ice block until he really needs to fight, until he needs to use that blizzard. And I think that's something to look out for because Hoxall really known for his Genji play, but he showed us some great May already earlier this week.
All right, so just in case you're joining us for the first time tonight, we've been running since the third day today. So we've been going at it for a little while here. We'll be closing up on Friday. That's when we will figure out who our last two teams going into Apex will be. It's a double elimination best of five. So these teams, they won their first matchup. The next winner from tonight will be moving into Apex. So we'll have two more teams moving in tonight. So we'll see who it's going to be. It's going to be from Apex, Rhinos Gaming, Titan, MVP Space, and Runaway. Rhinos and MVP already losing their first best of fives. Runaway, the only Apex team having won their matchup, so they are one step away from getting their spot secured. Rhinos and MVP Space, they lose one more best of five. They're going to get knocked out. And then, of course, we have all of our challenger teams with LW Red, MVP Space, MVP Infinity, Afreeca Freecs Red, so on and so forth. So our bracket for Group A, as you can see, Runaway, Afreeca Freecs, first match going to kick us off. Winner moves on. We'll have LW Red versus MVP Space tomorrow night. Loser of that is out of contention and is challengers for next season.
That's right, and today, we could have our first challenger team, the Afreeca Freecs Red, knock Runaway into that contention match. Now, Runaway still will have that extra opportunity against whoever wins between Red and Space. These are our Group A matches. But we could finally see what people like to call relegation begin tonight. So in Group B, we have the Meta versus MVP Infinity. They will be playing tonight. The winner advances directly to Apex. The loser will face the winner of Rhinos Gaming, Titan, and Mighty Angels of Death. And that'll, of course, all be decided 2 days from now on Friday.
Yeah, I'm not sure how those matchups are going to go, honestly. The Meta and Infinity, we will see that one later. I think it's going to be a pretty close one. But the Meta, they did falter a little bit more so than we expected. MVP Infinity coming out the gate, getting that 3-0 over Mighty AOD, looking very dominant. But the Meta might be able to give them a run for their money. So we'll find out just a little bit later tonight which of those two will be moving on as well. But first and foremost, again, we have to get into Runaway versus Afreeca Freecs Red. This is going to be such an important matchup for Runaway. They have built up a pretty significant fan base for a team that has no major organization backing it. There's a large amount of fans in the audience here to rep these guys and to cheer for them, and they don't want to get knocked into Challenger. They don't want to lose that. I mean, granted, some of those fans, they will stick around, but, they want them in Apex. They want to stay there. They want to maintain that fandom.
And if you win a winner's match in a tournament like this, you show the least amount of matches possible. You don't have to play that contention match. You don't have to go through the loser's match. So winning today would give them that direct spot. And going into Apex, there'll be much less for opponents to study of this team. Breaking down Runaway, they were one of the main teams right at the beginning of Apex because of Hoxall, the main DPS player of the team, who played a ton of Genji. He's shown us a lot of May recently as well. Cox in their opening match showing some sneaky backdoor maneuvering, trying to catch the DPS player off guard with Tracer. So Cox, something to look out for here in this game. And Kaiser, never count out his Reinhardt. This team is solid, and I feel like looks a lot stronger than they did actually from the beginning of Apex last season.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Cox's backdoor maneuvering is on point. But Haksal is really the one that we have to talk about. The Genji has come back into the meta with these dive compositions. You got the Winston, you got the Tracer, and the Zenyatta coming through. We have seen some variation on that. Not sure if it's exactly going to be, that composition as a whole. We've seen it run with the Ana and the Lucio rather than Zenyatta on heal. So it can bounce back and forth. It's seen mixed success. We'll see what they want to bring out. Afreeca Freecs Red, one of the struggles that we saw at the beginning of yesterday was that they weren't running the D.Va. Eventually did bring it out, but it wasn't there at the start, and that's when they were struggling in their matchup. So I'm hoping for their sake that they have kind of identified that mistake and are going to just bring D.Va straight out the game.
Yeah, Lagerman had an incredible Roadhog, so you can make the argument that if he's on the Roadhog instead, that does work out. But with only 2 tank players really on this team, take this, really gets relegated often to playing the Reinhardt. And he did have a really great Earth Shatter on Nepal and likes to kind of play that off the side, wait for them to come in, get that 5-man, 6-man Earth Shatter. Can be the guy to engage it, but watch out for Lagerman on the Roadhog. He had an incredible amount of hooks, and their opponents actually were trying to counteract that, but they couldn't actually get the same amount of hooks. It was, I believe, Xenocide was actually trying to match up against him, but was really, really unsuccessful on the side of MVP Space. Lagerman, the much better Roadhog, and Dala, he's going to be the one that will bring in the Tracer, but will be the one switching over to D.Va should they decide to run her a little bit more today.
I mean, we have seen that kind of mix up. Like, Dala has played the Tracer, he's played the D.Va, as you mentioned, but then Attune as well on the Tracer has really been a dominant force as their lead DPS player on the side of Afreeca Freecs Red. So definitely going to be the one to keep your eyes on. And again, if he can get into that 1v1 matchup with Haksal, I hope that the observers are going to be ready for that, because we definitely want to have all eyes on that matchup. But Ilios will be our first map of the day. Going to be kicking things off with that King of the Hill. We'll just have to see where we wind up, whether it's going to be at Well, Ruins, or a Lighthouse.
Yeah, tell your friends, guys, to get in here. This is really the first time we're going to see a team, or potentially even a change in which teams are going to be in Apex in this best of 5. And of course, the one following this one, the map has been chosen. It is Ilios. The players are ready. So as long as you're ready at home, we are ready to go into game number 1 on Ilios. Welcome to Ilios. Runaway versus Afreeca Freecs Red. We are starting things off on Lighthouse.
Yep, and as you mentioned, Lagerman with the Roadhog already locking that one in. Very likely that we'll see him continue with that. And it seems like we might just have, triple tank, 2 healers with that 1 DPS Attune coming through on his Tracer. So nothing too shocking in this lineup from the side of Afreeca Freecs Red. Runaway, definitely won't be seeing Haksal with the Torbjorn. We did see a Torbjorn yesterday, and it was completely and utterly
It hurt our eyes. We didn't really want to see it, but we were forced to, and
yeah,
it didn't work out. It was a very quick cap on Hanamura. Haksal will switch over to his Genji, and this is the matchup to look out for. Attune here once more on the Tracer. Bumper bringing up his D.Va, not actually going to be playing that McCree. It's not the DPS role on the team. Attune already taking some damage at the first hook, actually onto Haksal already by Lagerman. And that's no good. It's going to hurt the DPS here of Runaway.
That's going to be 2 major pickups, however, though, as Attune does go down. So the main DPS outputs on both sides have fallen. But with that Runaway, they continue pushing forward, looking for Lagerman to finish him off. And I believe that was just about a team kill. Dala, the only one limping his way back to the spawn, and that's going to give the first cap over to Runaway. So despite that hook coming through early, they're able to find the upper hand. And Kaiser, he's already caught his Earth Shatter.
Yeah, keep in mind also Bumper didn't die there, was able to get his mech up right away, so he kind of absorbed a ton of damage and cooldowns there, then got his mech back right away, so he basically had 2 lives there. Now already up to 75% of his self-destruct. Haksal coming in here once again, gets the pick on Navi. Dala takes out Coma, Cox goes down as well. And it looks like Afreeca Freecs may be able to contest this. Here's the whole hog coming out from Lagerman. He does not have heals, but he's going to zone them away, and this will be a point retaken, it looks like, for Afreeca Freecs Red.
Well, Haksal, yeah, he's going to go down, dash through, was able to find Quartermain, but not taken out by Dala. So not able to stand on and contest for too long. 33% on the board for Runaway as that recap comes through from Afreeca Freecs red. Ultimates getting ready to come through on both sides. We can see Hoxall almost has that Dragon Blade bumper now. Getting the self-destruct. He's actually going to toss it straight up in the air. We'll see if he can catch anybody. Looks like he's not going to find the damage. Nano Boost now on the take this. That's going to be matched by the Dragon Blade coming through from Hoxall. Nano Boost onto him as well. He's going to lose that 1v1 versus the Reinhardt. Is able to take out Navi and dashes out to safety. It looks like he will make it out with his life.
Dodges the self-destruct too and nearly gets the pick there onto Roadhog. Looks like he will get hooked by Loggerman himself. He'll be taken down. The point though, retaken here by Runaway. Cox trying to get to the back line again here to find some damage. It's going to be him versus Attune. A fairly even matchup there. Gets the Ana heals, wants to go back in. Attune has already retreated. Time is ticking. It's really quite incredible. Hoxall was able to do all that much on the sound barrier. We do see an Earth Shatter comes down though. Post bomb to pair with it. Bumper gets the kill onto Loggerman. Quartermain gets that knockoff onto Kaiser though. Boops him right off. Cox still with the damage here. Does not get the health pack though. Does recall. And it looks like Dala will be pushed away.
Yeah, he's going to have to back off, and this is just going to be a failed push from Afreeca Freecs red. They got just past halfway on the cap, but they're unable to complete it at the moment. You can see it's going to go ahead and drain right back down, so Runaway will maintain control. Almost to 75% to the 33 of Afreeca Freecs. This is looking really good for them. They do have to worry about that Earth Shatter from Take This as well as the Nano Boost coming through. They're a little ways away from having any of their ultimates outside of that Pulse Bomb on Cox. So that could definitely turn the fight in favor of Afreeca Freecs red. Take this, so he is going to go down. Not going to get too much profit off of that. Navi falling as well, and now Hoxall going into the Dragon Blade, but gets hooked up immediately by Loggerman, and he takes him out. That's going to be the whole hog coming through. We'll be able to push away the Tifa and the Tracer a little bit, but Cox just zips around back and shoots him in the head.
Yeah, it looks like with overtime ticking down here, will be a capture point for Runaway. Very solid opening here. The Dragon Blades from Hoxall, as you would have expected, really being the big factor there. I really do have to give credit to Loggerman once again, though. He was the only one who was able to consistently deal with Hoxall, who was getting serious damage done without sound barriers time and time again. He did have that one big nano boost that turned the tide, but overall big control here on the side of Runaway. We'll see if we can see some switch-ups here. Attune not being as good with a Tracer this time, and to be honest, Cox kind of had his number several times in that 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, it was a little all over the place there for Afreeca Freecs red, and like you mentioned, Quartermain looking really on point, having those hooks coming in time and time again, but the rest of the squad just wasn't on the same page, constantly getting picked off, letting Hoxall run rampant. But now we get a special treat here on Ruin. Cox going to come out the gate already on that Widowmaker.
Yeah, he's shown us this a little bit already. These Tracer players switching over to Widowmaker and Soldier oftentimes. Looking for picks here on the high pillar across our Ruins. Not able to get a ton of damage done. In fact, not even really getting that much shield. So definitely not worth it so far. Hoxall hunting down the healer here. Actually hunts down Attune. Unable to get him, just coming from the backside.
Throwing out those stars, trying to build up that Dragon Blade as quickly as possible. You can see this is going to be a bit of a matchup. Dala going into the back line, trying to disrupt Cox on the Widowmaker, but he's able to win that fight. Gets him out of the mech and takes him out with the machine gun. Nicely done by Cox.
Oh, Attune.
But then that, not so much.
Yeah, not so much. Attune's in the middle of the fight there, actually somehow, some way gets away. And we are going to see a nano boost here on whom I'm not sure. Down goes Quartermain. Hoxall not having this nano boost, just kind of dashing around in the fray. Looks like it was onto Loggermain, who's going to heal up here. Yeah, this is going to be a one fight for Runaway. You see the self-destruct used here, and that should push Afreeca Freecs red away. Nearly a captured point right now for Team Runaway. Hoxall has the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, that's going to be a really crucial deny, but they can't get the damage through. Nice deflect by him, making sure that he's just not going to be taking any unnecessary damage. Doesn't have to use the Dragon Blade yet. You can see this is going to be Runaway just starting to stack up these ultimates. Currently 3 for just the one, the Earth Shatter from Take This. And Afreeca Freecs, they haven't been able to really get in a position to, to really build up those meters very quickly. So Runaway, they're going to be able to take this without having to use anything, and they're going to be in a very strong position as Nox almost has his Pulse Bomb. Kaiser's just 20% away from that Earth Shatter.
Yeah, and with this composition that we're seeing from the Freecs right now, they just don't have that much pick potential. Hoxall that sleeps immediately, and there's the follow-up into that Earth Shatter. He gets knocked down immediately. He still has Dragon Blade, though, and he survived. Will he survive a little bit longer? He does get healed up. He's alive here. There's Ana to keep him alive. He's going to go to the back line here, jumping onto McCree. Saving the Dragon Blade for now, doesn't need to use it. Nano Boost actually onto McCree. He gets the pick onto Shine, but Hoxel getting a kill of his own, even without that Dragon Blade.
Good deflection there, making sure that he's not going to take that flame strike to the face, but he's still low. Able to dash through, does find Attune, comes back in, is able to help take down Take This. Now he's going to pop that Dragon Blade, and it seems like there's just no one on the side of Afreeca Red that can deal with Hoxel on this Genji. And as I say that, Lagerman, he steps up. He says, you know what, I'll get rid of him, but the damage has still been done. 67% on the board for Runaway, and they might just be able to 100% this.
One of the problems with the Freecs Red right now is they can't control the front of the zone. They're not able to really approach. And the problem with that, of course, is that they don't have anything besides this McCree damage. And this Roadhog is looking for picks, but he's not getting enough. He got Hoxel that one time. Hoxel already did his damage. They need more, and I feel like this Roadhog choice is not really working out for them so far. You see them try to approach one more time, 93% on the clock. They do have one self-destruct and an Earth Shatter to try to make this work.
Well, that Earth Shatter not going to clip onto Kaiser. I don't think it found anybody, in fact. Dollar with that self-destruct is able to take out Coma, and Bumper's going to come through. Gets rid of Navi, gets rid of Take This, throws out the self-destruct, and he will actually take out Dala with that. And now it's just Afreeca Red, 4 members down. They're going to have to peel back, and with the overtime there, they won't be able to find the cap, and that's going to be a very quick win on Ilios going over to Runaway. 1-0 up over top of AF Red.
Very one-sided matchup there. We talked about Lagerman's incredible Roadhog. You know, he was able to get a few consistent picks on Lighthouse, but when we went into Ruins, he's locked out of the actual dip. I don't know what to call it, half pipe, that just lower area where the capture point actually is. The control point is in there. And he's looking for hooks around the corner, but he's never really able to get to a place where he has enough space to use those hooks. When you have tight corners like that, Roadhog is going to do well. He's going to do insanely well if you're controlling the point, but if you're trying to control the point, he doesn't really work out. And I think that was really the weakness of what we were seeing there from Freecs Red. And Hoxel was just allowed to do whatever he wants. He was able to get several picks, in fact, onto a tune with a blade dash, and that just shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, I mean, that was just an exhibition right there from Hoxel on the Genji. This is why he became famous in Korea and really just around the world as a Genji player. Just showing off his mechanics, knowing his limits, knowing when he can and cannot get out of a fight. And it's just impressive from Runaway as a whole on that first map. But King of the Hill, it's a whole other animal. Now we're going to be moving to a hybrid. It's going to be Hollywood kicking us off for our second map. So we'll see how these teams are going to fare when it comes down to having to capture a point and then pushing the payload.
You know what? I'm sure all directors in Hollywood are trying to make a movie about this player, Hoxel. He's so young. He's so talented.
A biopic at the age of like 17.
That's right. And I mean, we might see some show business coming up here. Looking really one-sided so far. I was predicting Runaway coming into this best of 5, and after watching that first map on Ilios, I'm a little bit worried about Freecs Red. This is where Lagerman really made the Roadhog work, though, both on attack and defense. So I feel like this is his best map from what we saw yesterday. And I'm excited to see him try to make this work again. But if it doesn't work on Hollywood, maybe it's time to switch off that Roadhog. Roadhog is a hero that's not really that good at doing anything but poking DPS or getting picks. But guys, we're going into game number 2 on Hollywood to see if Runaway can continue the win streak. Welcome to good old Hollywood, where motion pictures are made. Freecs Red will spawn on attack. Runaway will be the defenders here.
Last time I was in Hollywood, I think I was approached by a man dressed as Donald Trump. I think that's my experience in Hollywood.
Yeah? I'm really sorry to hear that. Was he at least a nice guy?
He wanted money from me, so I was like, oh wow, you're really
he's out of character.
I was like, you're really selling this.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Well, like to try my steak.
The thing is, I've never been to Hollywood myself. I've just seen the sign on my very few trips to California. But
it's overrated.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's I mean, I guess like if you want to go see like a specific star, like the stars on the the Hollywood Walk, then I guess it's pretty neat. But outside of that, it's really loud. There's some street food. There's some really good street food, but it's really loud. There's a lot of just stores trying to sell you unnecessary things.
Sure, it sounds like any tourist trap for sure.
Very touristy.
Well, we are going to see Afreeca Freecs Red run the exact same comp they showed us yesterday, including the Winston. Coming in here with a Tune on the Tracer, Dala on the Genji, and we actually have Cox this time on Reaper, perhaps studying the match from yesterday. A Tune trying to get the pick here onto Ana, gets sleep darted though, and will be taken out immediately by Hoxall.
Yeah, able to finish him off even though he had that heal deny coming through, and Navi was able to snipe out Hoxall, so they do stop him in his tracks for a little bit longer. Tune's gonna be coming back in, got to about 30% on his ultimate charge, so not nearly as much as you would like to have at this point as a Tracer. So it's going to be a little bit rough, and now Afreeca maybe looking to go ahead and push straight in onto the limousine. Bumper goes low, they almost have that shield down from Kaiser. Cox is trying to chase down onto a Tune.
Yeah, gets a kill already, looking for a second here. Onto a Tune, does recall away. Dala gets picked off as well, and a Tune gets sleep darted once more on point. Right now is Shine with those sleep darts. We already saw a lot of sleep darts earlier on Monday. Now here, consistent with those. Loggerman just trying to poke up. He will have a Graviton Surge soon.
And there we go. It does come up. That's almost the Dragon Blade from Dala, but actually gets picked off by Cox, who gets nano boosted. Sleep Dart comes through, but he takes a little bit of damage, so he'll have to stand right back up. Doesn't get into a position to use that Death Blossom, however, so could hold on to that one, try to maybe drop down on top of Afreeca once they come through this choke point.
I think they really want to wait for Quartermain to get the Sound Barrier before they commit to the Graviton Surge. Loggerman's got it ready here. Will they commit, take this up at the front? Looks like they actually want this. Here's a Graviton Surge coming in. Are they going to commit to all their ultimates? Doesn't look like it. Hoxall's going to deny from behind, gets the kill onto Quartermain. Cox, though, picks up two. He can't heal. Will be able to retreat, and this is not going to be enough for Afreeca Freecs Red to take the point. They're going to have to back off and set up again. Bumper even gets the kill on Dala as he tries to retreat, and a lot of ults to use there for very little success.
Yeah, I mean, Runaway did have to invest a lot. They used both the Dragon Blade and the Death Blossom on top of the Graviton Surge, so it's not like that came without a slight consequence for them. Coma as well dropping the Sound Barrier, helping out. So they had to commit 4 ultimates to that. And now a Tune coming in with his own, but the Hoxall straight into his face with the deflect will knock that Deadeye right back into the McCree, and he will inadvertently kill himself.
Yeah, this is pretty much a wipe, although, as I say it, see Dala coming to get the pick onto Coma. Can he get more? It's the 1v1 Genji, and it's Hoxall, of course, who takes it against Dala. And 1 minute and 20 seconds left. You know, they delayed this so much
That's
already.
the face of a stone cold killer. Hoxall just unfazed by the atrocities he is committing on this screen.
Tune is actually going to switch back to this McCree. We saw him use this a lot on Nepal, not so much on this map. He's desperate to try anything. Take this, get sleeved. Cannot use his Earth Shatter. Can be taken out before he uses it. In fact, he will. Nice targeting there by Runaway. And this may be a solid full hold here.
God, Hoxall, just the accuracy on his throwing stars is insane. You see Dala trying to make something happen, has that Dragon Blade drawn. Won't be able to finish off Kaiser yet. He goes low, one more hit. Likely would have done it, but can't do anything to block that energy beam from Bumper. That's going to take him out. Graviton Surge thrown out mostly to buy some time, it would seem. 30 seconds on the clock. Runaway only have that Dragon Blade available. Never mind, Kaiser charging in. He's able to get the Earth Shatter up. See how long he's going to be able to hold this for. Loggerman pushing into him. He's going to get nano boosted. Drops the Graviton Surge, but gets slept immediately. Now Hoxall into the back line with that Dragon Blade, going to try to find a couple targets. They get knocked down. Kaiser with a beautiful Earth Jetter helps come up with the double kill, but they're going to be trading back as Hoxall and Shine goes down.
Take this, just barely got the other side up. Without that, this would have easily been a hold right away. Dala on top of the point right now. They actually are not even really that far in. They don't even have a slice yet of this point. There's going to be another hold attempt here by Runaway, or will they just give it? Actually, just going to let it go, it looks like here. 0 seconds left on this minnow. Cox comes in for the delay. Sound Barrier popped. In fact, you know what? They're going to commit. Hoxall coming into the back line. This could be a full hold still.
Yeah, they got the crucial pick onto a Tune, so that gave them enough confidence to move back in and try to take this. That's going to be Afreeca Red. They're just about at the second checkpoint. Cox is trying to get on top of Navi, get rid of that Ana, so there's no heal deny, but the Biotic Grenade comes up in time to keep him alive for a little bit longer, but now nearly the wipe coming through. They push them off of the point long enough, and Runaway come up with a full hold on point 1.
This is starting to feel disastrous. Oxal is just outplaying Dala on Genji, and that's almost, I feel like, all I have to say. The coordination, the target fire on Take This multiple times whenever he came in, the reaction time to pop that Reinhardt down before he can Earth Shatter, before he can really do any blocking on the point, making sure he doesn't get anyone, doesn't pin anyone down with that charge. It's just, we're seeing 2 different levels here, and the higher level is absolutely Runaway. A little bit worried going into now Runaway's attack. Let's see how quickly, if they can grab that first limousine point.
I mean, honestly, this is so unlikely for Afreeca Red to be able to replicate exactly what Runaway just did. Sure, it was close, but they were able to complete it in the end. So this is going to be Afreeca Freecs having to go all out on defense. We can see Attune will be starting on the McCree this time. It's going to be that triple tank composition coming through. Lagerman back onto the Roadhog, Dala on the Zarya, but we won't be seeing D.Va.
It's going to be solo DPS Cox on Runaway. And, or actually I should say solo range DPS with Hawksall and Genji, of course, but I don't even think of him as a type of hero. There he is right there as a shot of the Stone Cold Killer you just described. He's something else entirely. He's not a DPS, he's not a Genji.
I think he's about as robotic as Genji is.
Yeah.
That would explain why he's so damn good at that hero.
He's got the eyes of a hawk as well as tracking for the stars, his decision making as to when to blade dash in, when to dash out. All right, Lagerman on the Roadhog. Look for the picks here, Attune as well. It's going to be tough to use Tracer on defense here because Attune is looking for the picks in the back, and it's tough to get behind. You have to go through your opponent's choke point. You're trying to defend that same choke point, so we'll see if this works out. I'd like to see him on the McCree instead, to be honest, but let's watch and see. I don't want to judge this too early.
I would like to see a soldier. We haven't seen one this entire set so far in these first 2 maps. No one moving over to that. It's been all about the Tracer, all about the McCree instead. But the Genji, especially for Hawksall, as always, wildly important. But look at that, 3 kills right off the bat for Runaway. Looking for more. They will find a 4th. Take This is on the Winston. He'll be able to get back quickly, and Attune's here to try to contest. But already 1 checkpoint down, Attune falls, so they're going to stagger his respawn. 2nd checkpoint, Runaway, they might have just taken it on the first push.
Now, looks like they will. That is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. GG here. It's called, as Runaway can't even believe how easy that was. 2 maps smashed back to back, showing why this team was Apex. They got knocked down here to our relegations. They're in promotions now, and they are looking to 3-0 Afreeca Freecs Red. This is the most one-sided match we've seen in promotions thus far.
This is like the Paul map for the meta in their first map, where they just absolutely locked down Rhino's Gaming Titan, except Runaway has done this across 2 maps now. And honestly, going up 2-0, Afreeca Freecs Red, they look sort of mentally shattered at the moment. I think this might just be a clean 3-0 for Runaway, which is not really what most of us anticipated.
Well, you know, if you see Hawksall crack a half smile, something is about to go wrong. He's normally, even when he gets a team wipe, he doesn't smile. If he's smiling here before you go into game 3, you're probably shaking a little bit.
He's been updated. Attached in the reveries.
I'm worried right now for Afreeca Freecs Red. They will have a little bit of time to gather themselves here, as we are going to have a short break before we go into that 3rd map, that double capture point.
Potentially the final one.
Yeah, it could be. You know, they really need to gather themselves here. They have been the weaker of the 2 Afreeca teams since, you know, after they got knocked down to challengers. But before we go to that 3rd and potentially final map, we take that break I'm going to talk about, or I just talked about, excuse me, we'll see you right after this commercial break. Welcome back, everyone, to the Hot 6 Apex Challengers promotions. I am Wolf. With me is Achilles, and with us is a very sad Freecs Red, as they are currently being stomped by Runaway in our fastest, potentially best of 5 we've seen in this tournament. And we're going on to our 2-point map now. We'll see what the Freecs have decided to bring, as our map will, of course, Volskaya and Hanamura yesterday. Today, Temple of Anubis is available, and it will be the map that we will see for set number 3. And with how these points go, if we see a dominant performance once more from Runaway, this could be another fast one. It could be a best of 5 done in under an hour, Achilles, and that's not what the fans want, but this might just be how it goes.
I mean, I don't know about you, and I don't know what the fans, but sometimes a stomp theme match can be wildly entertaining. We've been seeing Hoxel absolutely destroying on the Genji. This is reminiscent of when Runaway first debuted the first day of Apex, when he wowed everybody, and he's doing it yet again. Because a lot of people will tell you, this isn't necessarily Genji's meta, but Runaway are making this work extremely well, and they're not even running a full dive composition around it. So whether that's the quality of the teams that they're playing against, whether it's just maybe them figuring out an extension of the meta, we don't know yet. We haven't seen Lunatic High since the other day at IEM, where they lost to LW Couple. So we haven't seen them go up against Runaway, see how Runaway really is in the global scale, I suppose. But for right now, they're looking like they're going to be making their way back into Apex.
Well, one map to go in order to do it. We'll see if that map is going to be Temple of Anubis as we get into game number 3 between Runaway and Freecs Red. Temple of Anubis, Freecs Red will be on the attack first. As that turns out to be, it could be that if they fail to take the first point again, we could have an insanely quick series here once more, an insanely quick map to seal it out.
Yeah, I mean, we have Runaway yet again starting on the defense, so I'm excited to see if they can just have another full hold, or if Afreeca will actually be able to make their way onto that first point and take it away. Right now we see Take This hovering over the Winston. I think we're going to see that change before this match starts. Not running the Reinhardt, definitely going to be a risky thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he can jump over the wall, but he's going to be blown up, melted immediately with Loggerman on the Roadhog here, and I get the feeling that's not going to change. So I'm a little bit worried if they actually lock the Winston in here. Let's find out. 5 seconds to go.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to commit to this. And I mean, this is okay. This is something that we saw Miro really popularize on Lunatic High. Plays that Winston on pretty much any map. But, I mean, his ability to enter and exit on Temple of Anubis, jump in, poke everybody, maybe take them off of the high ground, and then leap out to safety. It is quite strong as we see Take This coming in, actually kind of missing the platform. We'll get that sleep dart coming through.
Immediately countered by Shine and Hoxall here. And this is my concern with running the Winston without a Reinhardt. Loggerman already insanely low as well. Heals himself up a little bit. Attune did use his recall earlier, so he actually doesn't have it right now, and gets chased down and killed by Cox. That matchup today definitely going in Cox's favor in every way. Yeah, this is not looking like a great start here for Freecs Red. Take This has respawned. He's going to continue with the Winston. Right here, Hoxall chasing him down, chunking him down. And this is a pretty risky situation here, committing in. Big biotic grenade goes down as well. Kaiser's the first to fall. Down goes Dala.
And this is looking almost like it's a competitive like ladder match coming through rather than professional play, because Afreeca Freecs Red, they're just filtering in one at a time. You see Dala go in, then take this. By the time the take this arrives, Dala already loses his mech, and then he gets picked off by Hoxall. So it just seems like they're not playing cohesively. They're just wandering in one at a time and then saying, huh, why aren't we capping the point?
Shine is left to his own devices because Attune is trying to kill Cox 1v1 over and over again. Or perhaps it's really more Cox is just denying Attune, but either way, he's not able to get the kill onto Shine ever here. And Shine's actually the one who's melting these tanks down while actually healing up Hoxall every single time. Coma left to his own devices as well. We're going to see Sound Barrier now paired with the Dragon Blade and a Nano Boost onto Kaiser here.
There's a big Earth Shatter available, but he doesn't find anybody with that, so going to be wasted out on the ultimate. They lost to a Shine and Coma. Both healers for Runaway did fall. That could be a big opening for Afreeca Freecs if they can make it onto the point. And with that hook and that kill onto Hoxall, I think that might just do it for them. You can see it finally starting to cap. They'll get that first checkpoint. Do Runaway want to try to contest? It's likely going to be no, as they did have some staggered recalls. Cox goes in, trying to delay a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll be able to do so, but this is going to be the cap.
Yeah, on these 2-point maps, you don't want to delay the same way you might on Hollywood, because if you get wiped, then you lose the map in such a terrible time oftentimes. There's such a short rush distance between the two maps. But, you know, it's pretty impressive. That was the best we've seen for a Freak so far, is to be able to get that through a nano-boosted Kaiser, a sound-boosted Dragon Blade at Hoxall, and they still were able to capture the point. Hoxall going to switch to that bait we saw him do on Anubis on Monday, where he plays very conservatively, pokes from a distance. Dala does have self-destruct here, could try to pair it with the whole hog to try to push everyone off the point. Would be a risky maneuver to make. Looks like he's going to save it for the time being. Ice Wall comes up, but they come in anyways.
Yeah, they isolate, take this, but they're actually going to pop through the wall using that whole hog to really just knock it down and find an opening. Cox on the Reaper, he's able to finish off that Reinhardt. The self-destruct comes through, but it won't be finding anyone. But overall, looks like Runaway will be taking out the Afreeca Red on this fight. Hoxall gonna chase really aggressively, snipes Quartermain right out of the sky. Now Cox getting that nano boost, goes forward, uses their shotguns to just take out Lagerman, keeping those respawns coming in staggered. But man, what a shot from Hoxall.
Not to mention that he did it mid-air after jumping off of his self-ice wall, flying in the air, chasing down Quartermain with the right click there. This player, mark my words, will be a superstar in Korea. No matter what team he ends up on in 9 months' time, the world will know his name. He is just so incredibly gifted. All right, Dala coming in here, already locked down and frozen. This looks to be a pretty failed push here. Although, as I say that, 2 picks, Kaiser and Hoxall go down. Cox still alive, he has a Death Blossom. Can he alone stop this? It looks like it.
Gonna try to move forward. Oh, the Sleep Dart coming in. He is able to enter his Wraith form and peel back. He's low. Looks like he's gonna wait for Shine to come around, heal him up so he can get that meteor charge on the ultimate. They use the Blizzard and actually lose a lot for it. So rough hold by Runaway. They're actually gonna be at a disadvantage as far as the ultimates goes. 3 on the side of Afreeca, including that nano boost and the sound barrier.
Cox comes in here with the Death Blossom, immediately heal denied by Navi. Navi's going to pick off the kill as well. Hoxall gets taken out. This looks like a good opportunity for Afreeca Freecs Red. They still have Deadeye here. They have Nano Boost. Here's the defensive self-destruct.
They're going to try to zone them out, but won't be finding anybody with that self-destruct. The Toon still has the Deadeye as well, can use that as members of Runaway try to come back in. Cox is trying to buy as much time as he possibly can, but Dala is able to take him out. It's going to be the ice block through. Flashbang does connect, but he gets the wall up in time, so Hoxall will stay alive for a little bit longer. Shield up, sound barrier out as well.
It's such a good opportunity, but at the end of the day, they just can't get the picks they need. Good delay there by Hoxall using the ice wall to make sure he's there. You see, Graviton Surge is used now as well. Cox does get the pick onto Attune, and this is going to be the end of this push as Lagerman is taken out as well. Nearly a full wipe, and close call there for Runaway, but they got the hold.
But crucially, there was no checkpoints gained for Afreeca Red, so Runaway, a really firm hold. It was really scrappy, back and forth, constantly having to just delay Hoxall jumping in with the ice block, but they give up no checkpoints on the cap, so Afreeca Red, they have to start from scratch, and they used all of their ultimates in that push outside of the Deadeye.
This is a big issue. Hoxall has the Blizzard available, which should stop another push whenever they do commit to that. Lagerman's going to have Primal Rage soon on that Winston. And we will see the Nanoboost perhaps paired again with the Reinhardt going forward. Atune still has that Deadeye. He's going to try to use it around the corner here with this shield. Blizzard coming down to deny the Ice Wall as well. This is about as aggressive as you can be as a Mei, and Huxel is going in.
Yeah, wasn't really positioned where he wanted it to be for that. Wall didn't cut them off, didn't stop them from backing off, so he's actually going to have to peel out of there. Didn't find any kills other than that one onto Atune, but they lose Kaiser as well, and now that's going to be Afreeca Red coming back onto the point, trying to take this. Kaiser coming back up, has his Earth Shatter, but a beautiful charge from Take This will pin Coma into the wall and get rid of that Lucio. Self-destruct coming down. Won't find anybody because they've pretty much all been taken out by Runaway already.
Toon just trying to poke over here. He does have actually 2 supports nearby with him there. Not going to look for the Deadeye alone, though, as a solo DPS here. Going to wait for the rejoin of his teammates. Take This does have the Earth Shatter. And this was another great hold from Runaway. Time is ticking down. I believe we're at sub 1 minute now. 52 seconds left on the clock. Take This trying to get an aggressive Earth Shatter, but he can't even get through the doorway for the time being. And they don't have self-destruct either for disruption. Huxel's already got that Blizzard. It looks like he may aggressively use it here. Gonna try to lock off the Reinhardt. Icebox in the middle of the fight could Blizzard right afterwards.
Yeah, but he's really low. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be the Deadeye coming out. Reinhardt shield's there. Cox gets found. The Deadeye wasn't enough to kill him, but one quick shot from Atune finds him into the flashbang, taking out Coma. Excellently done, but Huxel showing off that accuracy on the Mei yet again. Finds the headshot with the Icicle, takes out Atune, and Afreeca, they can't fully commit yet again.
Ooh, we have a pause here with 13 seconds remaining. Really critical to get the pick onto Coma there before we could use the sound barrier. You absolutely wanted to have that, but Huxel then 1v1'd Atune. Mei basically out-accuracying a McCree there with the right clicks. Right-clicking him in the head before McCree can react there. Looks like it's an issue with Bumper's mouse by the look of things. Still was able to get one pick before he died in that push. Self-destruct was not the way. I think he got it out of the mech right before going down. And 13 seconds on the clock. Not the time you want to have a pause against you if you're a Afreeca Freecs Red, but they still have one more chance here realistically to make this work. Just bad luck here at this, at this state in time. I mean, yeah, these things do happen. Definitely a mouse issue for Bumper.
Yeah, looks like we're just going to be doing some mouse tests, making sure that it's up and running. Looks like it might be okay. As he nods, so I think we might be getting back into the game very shortly. Again, 13 seconds on the clock. They do have an Earth Shatter available on the side of Afreeca Red, but they're basically going to have to charge straight in. And if you try to do that, that Mei from Huxel is going to be so crucial, because if you full commit your entire team to one side and he hits you with that ice wall and you can't get around it, then that's just going to be the round going over to Runaway.
We're seeing Huxel play a lot more aggressively today than he did in their match against LW Red, where Nanohana was really the aggressive Mei, and we're now seeing Huxel kind of take that similar role. Okay, pause is done here. There's one push left for the Freecs, 10 seconds.
Lagerman's already low, gets that boost coming through from the Biotic Grenade. That'll catch him up very quickly. Cox goes into the front, drops that Pulse Bomb, won't find anything. Nanoboost coming in, goes over on to Take This, but he's not even in the fight. Cox has been picked off, however, by Atune, and now Bumper finds Lagerman, getting rid of that Winston. That's going to be crucial because he can't just pop in and out of the point now into the overtime. Atune going low, one more Icicle will do it. Huxel can't find the angle to get the shot.
Quartermain and Lagerman, the only ones left, and Quartermain, the only one nearby. That's it. Runaway will full hold the second point. Critically, no Primal Rage on Winston there. He could have popped it right before. He had heal denied, but he absolutely should have gotten that play to get the extra health to survive there and actually disrupt the point. He was being too patient. I guess I'd argue really gets picked off early, and then Huxel with the right clicks his accuracy once again. Honestly, it just seems like Afreeca Freecs Red are outmatched in terms of mechanics. I don't even feel like their compositions are incorrect as much as really, I'd say both compositions are non-meta, really what we're seeing in a lot of ways. Not as much on the second point, but on the first point. But mechanically speaking, Runaway is the better team. And it almost feels helpless to be Afreeca Freecs Red right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they haven't been able to do anything. Getting that cap right there was the closest Afreeca have come to winning a single map, and they still have to wait for Runaway to play through their side of things. So need to get that double cap if they want to close it out right here. Afreeca Red need to get a full hold on point one if they want to win outright. Otherwise, they're going to have to hold full hold second, force a tiebreaker, which will be a best of one on Nepal. And if Ilios shows us anything, it's that Runaway will likely be able to win that King of the Hill map as well. So it all comes down to being able to full hold this first point for Afreeca.
Yeah, I really agree with everything you just said there, and I think Afreeca really needs this full hold. A full hold here would give them the momentum back. Loggerman is actually going to be playing Reaper here on the defense. No way he's switching that, so switching off of the Roadhog. Ironically, I would argue that this is one of Roadhog's better points to try to defend on the high ground.
Oh, for sure. You get a snatch onto somebody trying to wrap around the right-hand side of you.
Exactly.
You get a pick onto that Lucio, but here we go. Yet again, another special treat. Cox going to be coming in on this Widowmaker. Sees a tune, but doesn't go for the shot. Now that Reinhardt shield is going to be there to block, so this is going to make his life considerably harder as he wants to get those headshots coming through.
All right, they now know Loggerman is on the
Oh,
Reaper.
there we go.
Shot there by Cox. That's one of many he's going to want to line up here. Hoxall gets the pick onto a tune. And this is a great start already for Runaway. And he's actually aggressively inching forward. Going to go up here on top of this window. And Loggerman does get the pick there onto Kaiser Hoxall as well. So that's turning things around a little bit. 3 down for Runaway, and Cox on his own isn't going to be able to do too much here. Although as I say that, he gets 3.
Yeah, go ahead, gets the 3K. Cox just popping off at the moment. Now going to be trying to get that 4th. There it is, meleeing, taking this through the shield to get the kill.
I mean, imagine 3v6. A Widowmaker gets 3 kills. This should not have happened, and because this has happened, this goes back to what I was saying, the mechanical difference between these two teams is immense. No one has eyes on Cox, no one's communicating where he is, no one's set to defend. 6v3, he kills 3, and then takes us. Let's look back at this. He's up on the window, no one's looking at him, gets quartermain, and gets the kill behind this shield, picks off Loggerman and Dala as well. And this is now 7 minutes of time Runaway has to get the second point.
Yeah, this is looking pretty grim now for Afreeca Red. Nice shot onto Navi, but not enough to get the kill. Cox has to back off as Dala goes forward. Disrupting into the back line. Now going to be finding Shine, but he gets that sleep dart through. Cox back on top of the platform, takes out Quartermain. Loggerman has gone down as well, getting rid of that Reaper. Take this, has fallen. Hoxall with the Dragon Blade, with the Nano Boost.
Oh, he is just showing off. He's standing on the spawn. This might just be it. No one really left here to defend. They're going to try one more chance. The big biotic grenade onto Dala as well. Does survive a little bit longer. Gets knocked out of the mech. Kaiser gets the pick on Loggerman. And this is just a dominant performance. There's the sound barrier coming up. Hoxall without the Dragon Blade this time. Chasing down Quartermain. There's the kill. And this looks to be a hole, or rather a take. As Bumper gets that, or rather Hoxall gets the kill on to take this as well.
Yeah, he tried swapping over to the May to buy some time, but Dala has to stay on top of the point. Quartermain coming in, has that Nano Boost with the Death Blossom, but it's all being blocked by Bumper, so he's not going to get a single thing done. Tries to find the kill onto Cox, but just can't get it. He gets taken out, and it's just going to be the delay tactic coming in for Afreeca Freecs, but if they step off this point for even a second, that will be the map. End the set, going over to Runaway. Cox trying to hound down on top of Navi. He is able to find a bit of tune, trading it back with his Tracer, and it actually looks like that might be Runaway peeling back. They almost had the point where just a sliver away, but the constant delays from the May, from the Diva, and Logger swapping over to that Winston, it was unable to buy enough time for them to get a reset at least back to the second checkpoint.
Big props to take this, actually playing off his role on the May to actually really deny that very well. Tune did not want to switch off the Tracer, so he decided to take the Hoxall. Has another Dragon Blade here available. He's getting very low, in fact, doesn't want to pop it yet. Gets a nice reflect off there just to survive. Now he's getting healed up by Coma. Has to dash away. Wizard being used here defensively. Take this, gonna deny. Here's the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, trying to go into the backside. That's gonna be the deflect coming through, making sure he doesn't get that sleep dart. Speaking of one, that's gonna land straight on to take this, and Hoxall, he comes up with a triple kill, and that is almost a team kill as Dala, the only living member of Afreeca Freecs Red, the mech. He's trying to dash around as best as he can. It's gonna pop. He goes into Baby Diva form. Can they kill him fast enough to get the cap? No, the delay is there yet again from Take This, going into the ice block, walls himself off from all of Runaway. Just to buy more time. Nano boost going forward onto Quartermain. Oh boy, not what you wanted.
Oh,
he runs around the pillar, and that's gonna be it. A 3-0 for Runaway. Such a dominant showing from this squad.
The most one-sided series of this tournament, bar none, as that was everything that Runaway wanted. And, you know, Quartermain spinning around on that pillar on the back, then the nano boost desperation there, and he's just trying to survive. Swings around the wrong side of the pillar there at the end as the Winston tries to come in and deny. Desperation after desperation after maybe 2 more desperations there, but it was never enough. As Hawksall got 3 in that initial pickoff there. And this was insanely one-sided. Runaway will go back to Apex and will be not be knocked down to challengers. And they'll be the first team to secure their spot in this tournament. As we see, Runaway comes in to shake hands here. Not going to be a fuzzy feeling really on the side of Afreeca Freecs Red, but sportsmanship being shown. Really easy to go in the booth and shake hands as the winner in moments like this. You can see friends here, though, on both sides. And Afreeca Freecs Red will have one more chance in the consolation match. They're not out of this tournament yet, but that's really going to hurt their confidence. You know, they're considered the weaker of the 2 Afreeca Freecs teams right now after Blues run to the finals of Apex, but they just got bopped down by a team that was also knocked out of Apex.
I mean, that was just an insane performance right there from Runaway. As you mentioned, Afreeca down but not out quite yet. If they lose their next set, which will be taking place on Friday,